All right, we are live. We are live, my good people. This is Charles. I am Brandon Madison of Nexxlegacy Radio, and I have my guy right here. He's here to talk about
You,
not just his single coming out June 4th, music and everything else. And before I introduce WillSexyLove to this audience or whatnot, we're in this conversation of just talking about people that you have a great admiration for in terms of just persistence, just an overall just good guy, wanting to see him do great things. So I have my
appreciate it.
man right here, Will WSL, aka Will Sexy Love, who I've known for over a decade and a half. And I'm glad that you are here, sir, to share in this whole deal. So first off, man, what's up? How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? What's up? What's up? I'm good. I'm good. Chilling on this beautiful day with Next Legacy, Brand, the man, as always.
Hey man, hey, we
The
go
man of the
way back.
hour, too sweet to be sour.
We go way back, like seriously, like
Way back.
early days of the station and stuff like that. So I'm glad to have you on. But not only that, I mean, you're here not just with a purpose, but we're here also to talk about just I don't want to go backwards and just talk about like old radio music stuff, but I just want to kind of go like in the here and now and the forward, right? Like
Mhm.
you're here to promote a single, um, Heaven Feels Like, which will be available June 4th on all streaming networks and video coming and all that stuff. But you're
Mhm.
finally here with the excitement starting to build up, bruh. So how do you feel overall about all of this that's about to happen?
Man, I'm excited, um, ecstatic, proud, happy. It's about damn time. Um, all that. It's been a while. Finally getting your footing right and stepping up, and everything's up from here.
So Heaven, if people have heard the promotion, heard a little bit of, some of the time that it took for you to actually, leak out a little bit to the public, um, give people a little backstory behind it and what's driving you now to get it out.
Okay. Um, well, I was having a back and forth with myself about continuing to do music. Being an indie artist, we're struggling artists. I got to a point where when it comes to Heaven, that song came about. I don't know if you remember this or not, but I kept hitting you up, and I was like, bruh, I don't think I got any more R&B in me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really felt like my pen game was gone, like, because everything that was coming to me, it wasn't really R&B ish. It was more like pop ish, whatever. And not saying anything's wrong with the pop, but I like a good love song,
Right.
like anybody. But it just felt like I wasn't able to put the pen to the paper and express my feelings the way I wanted to. So I had the beat for a minute, and I just kept listening to it, and we had conversed. I think the night before I actually started writing the song. It was something you said. You were like, you told me something along the lines of, man, just clear your mind, be free, and just let it flow
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And I got up the next day, and just I'm always constantly listening to beats. So I'm listening to the beat for Heaven, and it just, I don't know, it just started flowing. I feel like it came to me at the right time, because if I couldn't put anything to that beat, then I wasn't going to do anything.
Right.
But what I put together, and after I sat back and I read it and started singing it, I'm like, okay, wow, this is me right here. This is what I used to do. This is what I'm normally doing, is this right here. So it's sort of a song that kind of came out of nowhere, but came from somewhere, because at the time I think I was kind of in a place where emotionally, where I think I was emotionally drained, putting attention somewhere in places that it shouldn't have been.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember, I wrote this song in June or July of last year is when I wrote it and recorded it around about the same time. So it's been a year almost, putting it together and seeing it to fruition, coming to people's ears and platforms, and went through a lot of transitions and things. But it's the song that kind of broke me out of a rut.
Do you feel like not just with the single and the resurgence and the anticipation of the single finally getting it out that uh Ruts over? You feeling pretty good about where your headspace
Oh,
is?
most definitely, because after I wrote this, about 3 weeks later, I started working on another song. Um, Not going to disclose anything on that one just yet. Everybody will just have to wait for it. But it definitely broke me out of a rut. Definitely.
What do you think about the industry that kind of drove you to like a hiatus? What do you think there is or was in terms of, because I always hear that from artists, right? They have a love
Mhm.
affair with it and then they fall out of love with it because they see and or hear certain things that's not like catering to their not just genre of music, but the attention span seems to be wavered a little bit over R&B music and as you mentioned pop and stuff like that. Like what
Mhm.
drives you to kind of like go into seclusion and try to figure out stuff? Is it some personal, some is like industry, or what is it exactly?
A little bit of both. For me, it's 50-50. It was personal and about the business because it is not anything like what it used to be.
Right,
Yeah, at all. I think streaming is good, but it gets complicated. I feel it's too much now with the state of the industry. It's too many politics that goes on in it now more than it was before because it's always been politics in it anyway.
right,
But I feel like now it's more, um it's seen more, and it's like as being an up and coming, because I still consider myself to be an up and coming artist. I haven't made it yet. As an up and coming artist or a struggling artist, when you see what you have to put into it now just to get, let's say, 100 views
right.
when you want to promote something, whereas it used to be, man, I remember a time when you could put it on MySpace or Facebook, and I'm showing my age saying that. You put it on MySpace or Facebook, and everybody would see it. And then now it's like, in order for a fraction of the people that used to see it without promotion, it's like you have to pay for that promotion
Right.
every step of the, and you have to put money in it every step of the way. And sometimes depending on who the artist is and what you're able to do, it's a hard task, and you have to make some hard choices. And that kind of indefinitely made me to slide to the side and to take a little hiatus, because it's like you gotta, when you're coming into it, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to spin over here, put something over there, and just put in that work online just to get the recognition, just to get it heard. And that by itself is work, when you're promoting it. Just on social media altogether, that's like a job by itself, and sometimes it gets overwhelming.
I think it gets
um
a little tough because here I am, and I'm gonna tell the people a little bit. Like I said, I've known Will over decade and a half, so we have a lot of history, right?
mhm,
So
mhm.
I heard Heaven in its early stages, and I told him like, hey, I want to hear it before you release it. So
Mhm.
I'm in my car at the time. He sends it, and I'm everything's connected to my car, right? So I'm like putting it in the car. I'm gonna hear it, and I'm gonna give him some goddamn feedback right away as far as how it sounds in the car and
And
everything
you
else.
always do.
And I'm listening and I'm running it, and I'm like, okay, I'm let's do it again because maybe I missed something. And I'm not saying it because I'm trying to like critique it and judge it to say something bad about it. I need to hear it again to make sure I heard what I heard, right? So anytime you like a song or you fall in love with a song, you probably have it on repeat. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
I had Want You on repeat and the video on repeat and all that other stuff back in the day. Like that was always a fun song, and you could like pretend you're singing it even though I don't sing. You know what I'm saying? So hearing Heaven was like, bruh, like, you know, I remember giving you the feedback. Like I remember it not only slaps in the car, like I just feel like it's something that I feel a lot of people could um get into, relate to, sing along to what they want to and stuff like that. So I'm like, bro, get this out, get this out. But then also Will's like, hold on, maybe I kind of tweak it a little bit, do a little something with it or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's me. Yeah.
But also on the flip side, I'm like, you know, you got to respect the artist painting of a picture when it's not ready for public consumption. So as much as I wanted to help you get that out, it wasn't ready right now. So I respect that, but also hearing it, I think when the people get it June 4th and they're able to consume it, and it's running on Nexxlegacy now, so people can hear it as they anticipate it. But I want that excitement back about music that
Yeah, most
it
definitely.
needs to have again. So what excites you this time around in terms of it, not just releasing it, because you know once it's released and out there in the public, it's wrap. So what's exciting you more now than ever before because of it? And you mentioned obstacles because we clearly have it, but something is keeping you engaged. So what is that?
Hmm. A new audience.
Okay.
Seeing the resurgence of R&B with artists like Lucky Day, Victoria Monet.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't care what nobody says, she been hot. I mean, I'm glad everybody's giving her flowers now, but Victoria Monet has been hot. Justine Sky, um, seeing artists like his name just slipped my mind. Uh, what is it? The Barge. He just came out with this song with Faith Evans not too long ago.
Okay.
Um, I think that's what I'm talking about. Uh,
Yeah,
but
I know what
anyway,
you're talking about, but you know, Giveon, like there's a few that
Givion's one of them. Yeah,
yeah,
most definitely. Seeing Mario, come back out because I'm a big fan of Mario. You know what I'm saying? Anytime he steps back out, and I'm like, yo, it's definitely time to do something. And I have a fascination with Mario because he's from Baltimore, Maryland. That's just like a maybe an hour. I don't want to lie to you, like maybe a 2 hour, 3 hour drive from where I'm at,
mm-hmm,
northbound. So it's like seeing an artist like him and Chris Brown, who's from Tappahannock, Virginia. I'm from the Eastern Shore of Virginia. Still doing their thing, but back more to the R&B part of it. But seeing different artists getting their just due and their flowers right now in a market that's oversaturated with different genres of music that are taking the forefront
right,
is one of the things that really kind of got me more inspired to release it because it's I feel like it's become enticing a little bit. It's more of a playground, following in the footsteps of what artists like Giveon, Mario, Lucky Day are doing, because now again it goes back to the streaming because now you can be like on an app like Spotify, you put music out there, your music will be referenced right behind theirs if it's considered to be to put on the playlist.
no
So
doubt, no doubt. I always look at it, especially nowadays, especially for artists like yourself. Like you call yourself, you know, still up and coming. And I always feel like you've done enough via mixtapes, you've done enough with just getting your music
yeah,
out and stuff like that to the point where hell, I
forgot
mean,
about those.
everybody still, you know, kind of tapped into like catalogs and stuff like that. So do
Mhm.
you feel like this is like the biggest beginning for you in terms of like building your catalog? So this one is like a step, and then the next one and the next one and so on and so forth. So do you feel like this is like the beginning of you building something where you can say, you know what, this is the start of my catalog?
Yes, I do, most definitely. I should have been had a catalog. Just like I know, I got a bunch of songs that should have been released years ago. But I'm still sitting on them. But for me, it's about perfection and trying to get everything right. But yes, it's about having a catalog of music, um, recognition for my name, something for people to call back to, all that, and just putting out having a good catalog and a good body of work.
What do you feel about marketing your single during the days of like we're at right now, social media? Some people will stream it, some may buy it, some may do whatever it is that they want to do with it now. Like, how do you see it today versus let's just go back maybe a couple decades?
Mm. Uh, Ask me that question again.
I feel like no, you're good. You're good. I think that your thoughts on
Excuse
just
me.
social media in itself right now, because it's different, like you mentioned earlier. It's different than how it
Mm,
used to be. You know, people are streaming still. Some people may buy still. Some people may support you in that way or different ways as far as just moving the music differently now. Like, how do you feel about just social media, period, in terms of like being an artist now?
I have a love-hate relationship with all social media platforms.
Yeah.
I hate it, but I love them. And to survive and thrive in this industry, you need social media. You need a social media presence, which I have learned in the past 2 years. You need that presence. You need that online connection
Hmm.
with people all over the world, and it, that's it has its pros and there's pros and cons to everything. The pro is that you get the recognition, you get your flowers, people go listen to your music and stream it. The con is like it again. I said this earlier. It's draining. Um, you got to do it when you don't feel like doing it. It's a 24/7 job. You gotta be on your p's and q's. You gotta make sure you're when you comes to the marketing aspect of it. You gotta make sure um you're hitting your market. It's where it's supposed to be. You're promoting it. You're posting at the right time. Your tags and hashtags and all that are right. All that. Yeah. It's like I said, I have a love hate relationship with it,
No,
but I love it.
I'm with I'm with you because I'm the same way. At the same time, with even the job that I do, like I feel like I do a job of trying to get the artist music out there and promote it to the best of the ability. I know some artists have a love hate relationship for even paying that forward. I think social media now is a hotbed of chaos in terms
Mm,
of no accountability. They see what they see, they get what they get, even if it's for free.
mm,
It's hard to doctor a scenario where it's just like, hey, I'm paying it forward. And even when you do, it's few and far between. So that's why it's important to establish allies in this business of where you're at in
correct.
terms of
Correct.
who's really pouring it in and paying it forward and who's really not. Like, I think it's the
Right.
difference. Like, a lot of people talk about likes and follows and stuff like that, and it's always tell people a story about Beyonce on Instagram have like 305 million followers, but
Because of who
only
she.
but only like a million will like her stuff or whatever.
Hmm.
So look at the
Hmm.
percentages in that. So you're right. You have to go bananas to present it or put it out there. But I would rather have a dedicated group of a
Hmm.
million versus
Hmm.
having more than that. And they're just whatever
Have.
doing what they
Yeah.
need to do. I think it takes a little bit out of like the highs and lows as you mentioned it, but I think what keeps anybody going is support from like real ones. So when you had people like listen to Heaven, um, before it's released, like what have you gotten in terms of like feedback?
It's all been positive feedback. I have I've gotten um as far as the thoughts on it hasn't been anything bad. It's just interesting to hear how people interpret music. but the feedback I've gotten on it's all been positive. I think when I submitted it for a review a few months ago, uh, I was told I sound like the lead singer of uh 90s R&B group Surface, I think is the name of them. Yeah, that's what they told me. I didn't even I didn't even know who that was, who that group was. And I went and looked them up, and I'm like,
Oh
oh, okay, I
shit.
see it. I see
I,
it. I'm
I
like,
didn't
okay, I
think
see
about that till now. Okay.
it.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So that was one of my high moments when I got feedback from it. So I cherish that moment, that one right
Wow.
there, because that connected me to a a group of artists that I did not know about. I heard the songs, but I didn't know their name. But now I'm
Oh
like,
man.
oh, okay, well, let me go check them out. Okay, I do sound a little bit like them. I
Right,
hear it. All
right,
right.
right. Surface, shower me with your love. That's one that
Yeah,
stands out. Like there's a
yeah,
few, but Surface, that's
yeah,
okay. I didn't think
yeah.
about that till you just mentioned it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it was Miss Love, the rapping housewife. I don't think she goes by that moniker anymore. I think she just Miss Love. She
Hmm.
has a live TikTok where she does music reviews, and I know her, but I don't know her like that. But
Okay.
yeah, she went she didn't go crazy, but she was highly surprised at what she heard, and then came the, you sound like the what's the group I'm thinking of? Is it Serpent? You
Wow.
sound like the lead singer of Surface. And I'm
Right.
on Google after that trying to look up who Surface is and who the lead singer
Yeah.
is. I'm like, okay, I'll take
Yeah.
that. I'll take
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now I think the it's important to get some kind of feedback before the release, and the release is June 4th. Heaven feels like will be available all streaming networks. Follow Will at WillSexyLove on all platforms. Just Google it. If you Google him, you're gonna see all of the stuff laid out there like super
Yeah.
quick. Um, to me, I just just in talking to you in general, and like I said, I when I give feedback, I give it. Some people may not like what I say, but to me, I feel like either you're gonna respect it or you're not. Like I just go with what I
Right.
feel, and what I feel
Right.
is just this, right? So, before we even set this interview up to, have a reunion of sorts, because we go way back since '07, '08.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
just when you told me that it's finally ready to be out there for release,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying this just straight from the heart too. I was like, fucking about time, like about time. God damn, like just because I always feel like, especially when you have talent, and you got it in a couple of different spectrums, right? You have it
Mm-hmm.
through art, which we'll talk about later, but also with music, which is full front right here. Like I always feel like it's good to be able to give it away, because I always feel like that's what God is here to be able to do. Like,
Mm-hmm.
find the best of who you are and what you be, and then just give it away. And when I say give it away, you know what I mean in terms of that. You want to
Mm-hmm.
make a living and do what you got to do, but don't
Right.
shelve your talent. Just make sure you
Right.
put that out there, right? So
Right.
I feel like it's right on time, but goddamn, like where has it been? Because not only that, no pressure though, because we need like genuine like
Mm-hmm.
R&B music, right? Like we
Mm-hmm.
need the essence of what it is and how it makes people feel and shit, right? So it's to me, it's proof positive that no matter what you got going on in life, and that you still kind of still have this hunger to do it, that's a
Mm-hmm.
testament to your strength. So, not trying to
Most
go
definitely.
overly over the top with it, but and I know you mentioned it throughout, these 20 minutes or whatever, but you got another hand on the steering wheel when it comes to just like your faith and just wanting to give it out to the people, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Tell
Yes.
people the why behind it. Not you don't have to dive into nothing like over the top personal, but just tell people that there's still hunger and wanting to pay it forward. Because once you start
Oh,
making music, Will, you ain't even doing it for yourself no more, man. You're doing
right.
it for the
Right.
people.
Most definitely, man. I love music, man. R&B is my genre. I love it. It it does something. It does something to me. It makes me feel a certain kind of way. I'm glad that I can be in my own lane when it comes to this music and what I do. But music, and writing it and doing it. It's just like it's my baby. You know, you want to nurture it, take care of it, protect it the best way you can, to the best of your ability, and do the best you can. And you know, taking a step back and looking at it, like I can't tell you there's been a day that's gone by even without me releasing anything where I haven't written a song, where I haven't listened to a beat. You know, I haven't sat down and gone over one song for the 1 millionth time before I actually decide to do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's um uh yeah. I hope I answered your question. I
No,
think I
you
kind of
did
went off topic a little
100%.
bit.
100%. I just think it's important for people to know, like, you don't just give birth to a song, write it, and then do it, and it's done
Yeah, just
within what it
create
is.
it.
Heaven
Yeah.
feels like it's like a 3-minute song or whatever, but it took you longer than that to actually put it together.
Yeah, that's the part that gets me a lot with it, is like, you know, when I was sending it out for people to listen to, and I'm getting the feedback from different people. In my mind, I'm thinking about what's the world going to think of it. You know, there might be someone out there who hears and they're like, man, like I like how you put that together. And then that's where this you know, this interview comes in, and with you saying what you just said, like, the song may only be 3 minutes and some seconds long, but it took a lot longer than that to put it together. It had to be created, it had to be birthed, you know, it had to be molded and sculpted and dipped and fried and painted and repainted, and you know, you know, so it took some time to get just that one song here. And it's always the behind the scenes thing that I like, the stories that I like to tell people. I'm like, you wouldn't believe what I had to do on this one night when I was recording it. Like, I had to cut all the lights off in the house. It was thundering and storming outside. My microphone wouldn't work right. So I had to, you know what I'm saying? It creates an atmosphere, its own movie per se, a preview trailer or whatever, to a precursor to the actual song. And I like backstories to songs anyway, of how they were created.
No doubt.
So, you know, it's just interesting to learn what went into it, how many times it was recorded, what lyric you took out, what the song was originally supposed to sound like, to what it is now, and all of that. Like, it's a lot of legwork that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see, which kind of to me gives more appreciation to it. You know, once you see that
Like
it's
you're
not something that somebody just walked in and just, you know, just walked up to the microphone and said, hey, I got this on my brain and I'm gonna do it just like this in one take, and it
yeah.
comes out the way it sound, the way it sounds now in one take.
Yeah, it's just like you're giving birth to another kid, right? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
like, there's different ways of taking care of, and nurturing and everything that you put into it and stuff like that. So, after singles released June 4th, what plans do you have for that song to be able to continue to give it life before your next single?
I'm gonna continue to promote it. I got a music video in the works for it right now. I'm gonna nothing's there has been no set confirmed date of when we're gonna start filming, but there will be a music video following up, following the single. And I'm just gonna keep it, try to keep it and push it into the ears of whoever wants to listen to it, and I'm gonna shove it down everybody's social media through. Just playing. I don't mean it like that, but you know, just
Hey
you know,
man, hey,
continue to do that legwork.
as it should be though, like, as it should be. To me, I think it's important to just make sure anybody and their mama, their grandmama, they wife, they mistress, they side p, whoever, like, they all got to hear it and let it grow.
Hmm.
I also want to ask you, just in general, when it comes to just um the relief that you feel with this song being put out there in the public. So, not to be over the top, like, wanting to intrude on the birth of it, but is there, like, because, to me, I think you and I had conversations about this, you know,
Hmm.
does this
Hmm.
song remind you of someone, I should say, when it comes to that? Because when I hear it, I ain't gonna lie, I go backwards and I'm like, old relationships, you kind of think about it, you know.
Most most definitely. Um, I actually dedicated it to someone. Um, because at in that relationship, for what it was, what the lyrics in that song was how that person made me feel.
Hmm.
So, but to clarify that, the song wasn't, or it wasn't originally written about anyone. It just came to me. I want to put that out there. It's not something that I was in my feelings on something and I wrote it about someone. It
Yeah,
was something that just came to me, and you're thinking about emotions and the emotion that you want to convey in the song. But yeah, it does. When I play it now, when I actually gave the formal dedication to the person, every time I hear it now, it does remind me of that person and what that relationship was, and yeah, all that good stuff.
it's funny how you could take a song. It may not have like an origin story in terms of like this. Oh, I'm gonna make this for this person or whatever. You
Hmm.
know, it could be totally like, that person doesn't have a face yet, but
Hmm.
when
Right.
you listen to it after the fact, oh, I know exactly who this song was for. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? It'll hit you.
Yeah.
The crazy thing
Yeah.
about
Most
music,
definitely.
man, is
Most definitely.
because when you hear a song like that, reminds me, I ain't gonna lie, I don't care. People say what they want to say. It was about an ex. Thinking about an ex. Same thing that I had in the situation as what do you call it? The one song, Congratulations by Vesta, right?
Hmm.
If you remember that song, all that stuff was about an ex. Like sometimes that'll drive you into like certain things where you could think about
Most
and
definitely.
you get emotional, but isn't that what the power of music is though?
Yes, it should be. It should be. It should be your therapy for whatever mood you're in.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
If you're happy, if you're
A
sad,
coping
if you're
mechanism.
pissed,
Yep.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. Lean more towards that on anything. Will Sexy Love is my guest on Next Legacy Radio. Um, you're an artist as well, not just a music artist, but you're an artist.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I will before I even ask you a question. I'm always talking to people about stories. Well, Will sent me like a couple years back. Will sent me a comic which I
Hmm.
still have in plastic. Read it, flipped through it, but I still have it prominently in, my other room. It's like a trophy, right? Like I always feel like it should be, ranked up there with like some of the classic stuff. First off, appreciate that because to me,
Hmm.
it's just, any artist that paints a picture or in this case, a comic, and I'm still able to like keep it and keep it in good condition. I mean, it means a lot, bro. So how are you doing with that? And what is on your horizon in terms of like different ideas for doing more?
Oh man, I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about the first comic I ever published.
Yes, sir.
We Are Pop Stars.
Yep.
That's definitely my baby. Um, what was the question again? I'm sorry, I got lost
What
in
are,
reminiscing about
what are,
that.
what are any future plans for you with
the
your art on that level?
I want to continue to produce my own comics. That's something I tidbit, FYI, or whatever you want to call it, trivia.
Mm-hmm.
I did not originally start out wanting to be a singer. Originally wanted to be a comic book artist. I've
Right.
always loved comics. I got into reading comics because of my dad. I like of course Superman, but Batman is overall my favorite comic book character underneath the Joker. The Joker takes the number one spot. Um, and I've always had a love for art, and storytelling. So what I want to do now, my goal is now, because I'm still trying to republish that first issue of We Are Pop Stars, because that story is dear to me because it's a story about three girls trying to survive in the music industry. Sort of like Blade meets Empire, not
Yeah.
Empire,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember the show Star
I do. I
that
do.
came on after Empire. Yeah, it's sort of like
Absolutely.
Blade meets Star. That's the
Yeah.
concept of it. And it's my baby because it's related to music, and I kind of had to try to find a fun way to incorporate my actual personal life into my artwork, but
Mm-hmm.
not with me directly. It's something that I wanted to do for my, because I'm a father. I have three girls, three beautiful little girls. It's something that I wanted to do for them, to inspire them, for them to see girls of color in print in a magazine like that.
Right.
And also, I have different projects that I'm working on, and I want to get to a point where I can produce my own comic book movies. That's my ultimate goal. I want to produce my own comic book movies. I want to have my own studio where I can do what I want to do, not be under anyone, and just bring my creations to the world and employ other talented people to come and join me on that journey of that part of my life. But comics have always been my first love, still is. That's more complicated than the music because that is definitely time consuming and stressful at times. But thankfully they made the iPad, and it hurries the process along a little quicker. It gets the process going smoother and whatnot.
Yeah.
So thank God for Apple. Um, but yeah, well, I do actually have my own comic publishing company, the Willverse Comics, where I'm going to try to produce more of my own comic book ideas. I have millions of them. It's just sometimes it's just hard to sit down and focus on just one idea that I want to work on. But I do plan on releasing and publishing more comics, um, and bringing my story, my style of art and my form of storytelling to kids and adults alike, and have them enjoy it and let it gain popularity and have it going into toys and cartoons, shirts, merchandise, all that good stuff.
That's what's up. It sounds like you have a lot to do in
I
terms of
do.
getting
I
that out
do.
there, right? I swear that should keep you busy like forever. You know what I mean? Because I always feel like we all have something to do. And if you could be able to see the comments out there when we were talking about music, somebody that's on like YouTube and the other places, they can have comments left here. So as you were passionately talking about music and stuff like that, they dropped a little nugget as far as just saying exactly as they're listening to this
Mhm.
interview, which is great. I don't know if you see it in the little.
Yeah, I see it. I see it right
Okay.
here.
Yeah, I think it's important, man, to at least put out there the importance of just stuff that you do, and what you do is finding ways to be able to get your brand out there to a bigger level and pay it forward by
Hmm.
creating
Hmm.
certain things, and not just stuff where us as Black folks can be able to tap in and relate to, but other people could see where the hustle started, right? So
Yeah.
um anything that you would want to, because to me, I just think with the single, I'm just as happy as if it was mine, really, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
I feel like it's
Mhm.
mine. I feel like we went through this journey for too many years to get it to this point. So
Yeah, well, we actually did, because you were always the first person I call, like, yo, Rain, you want? I got something for you. I'm gonna send it to you. Then you'll hit me back, give me the feedback. Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go with that. So you've been the person I bounce ideas off of with a lot, actually. And I appreciate you for that. But you've been in my corner and been on my ass about putting out new music and getting it out there. You just wanted me to put something out there, and I'm happy to bring it to you and to everyone so that they can get to hear my voice, hear my style of music, hear what I do, like it, love it, put it on repeat, keep playing it, play it for a loved one, sing along with it, do whatever it is that they're going to do. Like it's I'm kind of having a surreal moment, even though again, like I don't have a huge one, I don't have a huge fan base, but it's like a surreal moment. It's like something that I've been wanting to do, and wanting to happen at the right time, and it seems like this happened at the right time for me to do this right now.
mhm. I just think it's a great opportunity for the people that don't know you to get to know you
To
as
get to
well.
know me. Hmm.
And I think that's going to be great. Like,
Let me reintroduce myself.
damn right, damn right, damn right, as you should. And it's just, I mean, it feels different than anything that you've done over the
Hmm.
course of the last like 5 years. I'm being real.
Yeah,
So
and that's what really got me about it. After I put everything together and I was listening to it, the first mix I did of it had me, and I'm sitting back listening to it. I'm like, damn. I did that. Okay, okay, Will. Okay, you back in your bag. You in your feelings right now. You on it. Okay, okay, boy. All right, we gonna see what this do. We gonna put it to work and see what it do.
Man, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. So, a couple more questions before we put a wrap on this.
Mhm.
Do you have any shout outs you want to give in terms of like the people that's been behind the scenes giving you that support? We'll start with that.
Shout out to you, Brand, Next Legacy, um, Tasha, because I'm always in her ear too. Between you and her, back and forth between the both of y'all, not just with the music on personal stuff as well.
Mhm.
Um, Shout out to my moms, um, my dad, my little sister, may they rest in peace. My dad was sort of like one of my biggest supporters too. He'd walk around the house singing. This was back in my mixtape days that you mentioned earlier, and I used to always play one of my mixtapes all the time, and he just started singing one of the songs, and I didn't even realize he was singing one of my songs until I actually sat back and I listened to what he was singing, and I'm like, Dad, is that my song? He's like, yeah, boy, you got some good stuff there. Go ahead and put that out there, but you better be careful. You don't want nobody trying to take advantage of you. But boy, that's good right there. I like that.
Okay.
So shout out to my pops. Like again, may he rest in peace. Shout out to everybody that has supported me this long period of time. I'm sort of a has been. I'm a bit of a local star that who's well dried up for a bit, and now he's getting the water's pouring back into it. So yeah,
Whatever, Will. Whatever. Whatever.
and shout out to the female who was also instrumental and motivated me in releasing the song as well. And yeah, that's shout out to everybody that knows Will Sexy Love. And when you sing me, you kept telling me to keep pushing and keep going and keep putting the music out. Shout out to Mike Jones, my homeboy, God, thanking him for the talent, and that'll do.
Yeah, I think anybody in your inner circle, it's definitely on uh big let's just get this one out and celebrate alert, and June 4th is going to be that thing. And
Hmm.
can't wait to not just see it released, promote it as such. It's
Hmm.
on rotation on Next Legacy now, but just to see it grow, like the wings it's gonna have when it flies, and to watch it, to me it's always like a great thing to be able to see. So I just think that that it's good, and whoever's continuing to listen is just giving you fire all day, bro. Like it's a great thing. So, and trust me, some of these people I don't know who they are, so there we go. So
Hmm.
shout out to NSTUR35, listening live on YouTube.
Hmm.
But also another
Yeah,
question,
shout out to you.
and another question I have is, I don't think I've ever asked you this on any interview. So,
Hmm.
Will Sexy
Oh, here we
Love,
go. Here we
aka
go.
the R&B Dragon.
All right, let me get
Right,
prepared for this. All
yeah,
right,
you're right. I mean, it ain't. It's
let
nothing
me.
bad, but I'm gonna put you on the spot right now, and I'm gonna ask
I
you,
got a
Will.
feeling. I got a feeling you are. I got a feeling
I'm
you
gonna
are.
ask you. I'm gonna ask you. Music decade. What is your best music decade? And you can't pick 2 decades. You have to pick only one.
Like for me, with my music, or in
Your
what I
music.
think in general.
What is your best music decade ever?
Now,
Why?
uh, I don't know, man. Like, man,
See, I'm
best
gonna go.
music.
Listen, hold up. I'm gonna go on and tell you, 80s decade is the best for me because of diversity, early golden age of hip hop, stuff like that, right? Like
90s, 90.
soundtrack music in the 80s, you can't beat the Goonies soundtrack. You can't beat like all that other shit, right? So I just heard you
Mhm.
say 90s.
Yeah, 90s,
Why?
90s, early 2000s.
Why?
I just felt like it was a melting pot of different acts and artists that came out with a lot of good music that we still listen to today. Groove Theory, Changing Faces, Maya, Monica, Drew Hill, New Edition, Jagged Edge. Then going into, you said I can't pick 2 decades, so never mind. This is earlier. Yeah.
I heard you. Hey, listen, I saw you was about to leak in there like 2000.
Yeah, I was.
I heard you. You was about to go down. Okay. All right. With that,
Brown. On top of that, don't let me forget Brownstone.
Brownstone, no doubt.
Man, the
Hey,
voices on them girls.
Respect. 90s was always a decade of, to me, I think, independence for a lot of Black artists. And not only that, groups too, because you had, well, you mentioned New Edition, which is 80s, but they leaked into the 90s as well. So respect there. But you had like Jodeci and Jagged Edge and all these, Drew Hill, you mentioned that. Like all these groups were winning. Like even the women groups were winning, right? Women hip hop was still, it was surging. It was at its apex, right? When it comes to that. So it was great. So, okay, 90s is your decade. So I'm going to go with fashion now. Anything fashion in the 90s that you would like to see in 2025? Like cross color?
Hell no. No. Let that shit stay where it's at. Some of it is eventually going to make a comeback, but let that stay right where it's at the moment. Let it stay where it's at.
I feel you.
The hair, go from the hairstyles to the outfits. Nah, let it stay there. Let it stay there. Let it stay there. Them big oversized jean jackets and shit. No, let it stay there. Let it stay there. Let it stay. Them windbreaker outfits. Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm good. It can stay there.
Hey man, you don't want to bring Carl Kanai back? You don't want that?
They do. Let it stay there. Let it stay there. Let it stay. It was, if they can come back and rebrand it for now, yeah, but
Hey, I asked when I interviewed T-Boz way back when, I asked her something similar to that as far as questions. She just mentioned something about like shoes or whatever that has that in there too, though. Like I think that she mentioned some shoes that she would keep from the 90s back in the day, but not too much in that sense though. Nah.
Yeah, the shoes, we can keep some of them, but the outfits, no.
Exactly.
Let them stay there.
Will, give out your social media to the people out there, bro.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at WillSexyLove. Everything is spelled as is, WillSexyLove. Again, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I was going to say Snapchat, but Snapchat I go by a different name. Is there another one? Blue Sky. If anybody's on Blue Sky, again, I think it's at WillSexyLove. I think that's it. TikTok is at WillSexyLove too. I can't forget TikTok.
Okay.
TikTok is at WillSexyLove too. That's where you can reach me. That's where you can find me.
Website coming soon. Video coming soon. You can see a classic Want You video circulating throughout YouTube. YouTube is WillSexyLoves with an S. Man, I can't thank you enough for going live with me and grabbing this audience and letting people know not just what to look out for, but what's in store for your brand moving forward. Because I mean, you wanted the true ones. Like, you and I have had back and forth conversations. Some of it was easy, some of it was not, in terms of our own personal growth. So, the fact that we still here have a bond for like over 15 years is a blessing for sure. And I'm excited about.
Don't forget the key component to that. We've never met
in person.
In person.
And deeper than that is, sometimes we got to shout out. Sometimes social media could be a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, most definitely.
This is a clear blessing, right? So
blessing, a clear blessing.
I definitely appreciate all things WillSexyLove and the brand that you have created and that you're going to continue to create thus far. And you have a radio ally with Nexxlegacy, and your music will be played forever, and you don't have to pay for it either. Put
All right.
it
All
in
right.
there.
That's
So
a
you know
plus.
what I mean? There you go. There you go. Man, I wish you nothing but the best moving forward. But you know, you and I connected forever, and a lot of it has to do with music too. So I appreciate you, bro.
I appreciate you for having me on and allowing me this interview.
Perfect. Blessing to you, bro.
All right. Blessings to you too, man.